Viral posts have taken over the internet, suggesting the BBC is on alert for an unspecified major announcement from the royals. But the broadcaster has not said anything to confirm that rumor. From King Charles's cancer diagnosis to the hysteria around Kate Middleton's whereabouts, social media has been in a frenzy. The princess has rarely been seen publicly in months, and then there's that photoshopping incident from Mother's Day in the UK. Needless to say, the level of interest only continues to climb. It was in Sandringham back on December 25th that Kate was last seen on public duty attending a Christmas morning church service. By January, the princess reportedly had abdominal surgery and informed the world that she would be taking an extended absence from her public duties until after Easter. Since then, the conspiracy theories have been spreading like wildfire.
She's not getting on Zoom. She's not giving us that 5 seconds because she stopped cooperating. She is done.
He might have a roving eye and there's somebody else on the scene.
Now the whole world's wondering, where the heck is Kate?
Conspiracies have ranged from cosmetic surgery to divorce. But today, in hopes of putting the rumors to rest, The Sun claims Princess Kate was spotted out and about over the weekend by unnamed sources who took no photos.
On Saturday, the Prince and Princess of Wales were seen together getting some shopping. They were seen by onlookers who described them as happy and said Kate in particular was looking very healthy. It's obviously the first time Kate has properly been seen in public since Christmas Day.
But this alleged spotting hasn't calmed the conspiracy theorists on TikTok.
You guys, royal scandals are nothing new. The palace lying to the people in order to protect the heir to the throne, it's a tale as old as time. But you know what is new? People with cameras literally everywhere. If Kate was at the public farmers market this weekend, we'd have a picture of it.
Let's go back in time a little bit. It was on March 10th, Mother's Day in the UK, that Kensington Palace released this image. It was heavily edited, and news agencies were quick to issue a kill notice, meaning that they had deemed it untrustworthy and that it had been manipulated. Then, in a shocking twist, the next day, an apology on social media was allegedly issued by Kate for any confusion caused by the edited photograph.
Look at this, the Vogue magazine cover, and as it blends out, it is the exact same face from this photo. Now, if you still don't believe me and you think it's still just a fluke, this is the picture overlaid with half of it erased, and look how exactly everything lines up.
Needless to say, it's been a rough few months for the royal family.
Kim Kardashian was on my way to find Kate, she said. Like I say, when you become a laughingstock like this, but also playing to the conspiracy theories of where the hell is Kate, it's not good, is it, for the royals?
Piers Morgan once again weighing in, debating on whether this could be the end of the monarchy.
The public's reverence for the royals depends on integrity and on trust, and both of those things have taken a battering. Only William and Kate can really put this right.
Kensington Palace maintains Kate is doing well and will offer only significant updates as she recovers. And despite the false claim that the monarch himself passed away over the weekend, a royal source says King Charles III is continuing with official and private business amid cancer treatments. So at this point, any rumors of a major announcement by the royal family appear to be just that. We're joined now by royal expert Justin Vogue. Justin, we've been waiting for months to learn more about what exactly is happening with Princess Kate. What are your thoughts on the pandemonium that has transpired online?
Honestly, I think that pandemonium is a great word because it seems like social media and public curiosity has blown this situation up well beyond what it needs to be. The palace said months ago she is going to be off work until after Easter. She won't be in public. They reissued that statement a few weeks ago, and now we're seeing what happens with social media and public curiosity, where it's taking on this life of its own now, and I don't think anyone really knows where it's going to end.
No, we don't. But if there is, in fact, an announcement coming, what's the protocol here? What should we all expect?
Well, for starters, I'm highly skeptical that an announcement is coming. I've been following this very closely online, and all of the sources and outlets that are claiming this announcement is coming keep pointing to this unnamed anonymous source at BBC, and I've been following at BBC very closely, and I've been in contact with BBC, and there is nothing on their radar about an official announcement coming. That is usually red flag number one here. The BBC, even if they know something is coming, they will usually be telegraphing that. They will be sending that signal out because that is something that makes headlines. If there's an announcement coming, that will make people tune in, that will make people click on the link. So if they know anything, even if they don't know what it is, they're going to be making sure that that news gets out, and we are seeing nothing of that. So in terms of protocol, we would be seeing the reputable agencies sort of indicating that there will be an announcement forthcoming. The fact that it is already evening over in the UK and nothing has come is also an indicator that certainly today, we shouldn't expect anything. They typically do these things within sort of normal 9 to 5 business hours, unless it's an emergency like a death, which there's no reason to expect whatsoever. So all of the things that we look for protocols to expect an announcement, none of them are there here.
That is good for our viewers to know. And Justin, how have the royals been handling the criticism and the speculation and drama unfolding when it comes to Kate's whereabouts?
Well, I mean, their policy is always never complain, never explain. And for the most part, they've been sticking to that. We have not heard anything else from Buckingham Palace. And the irony is, if they would have just stuck to that policy and stuck to that statement that she will be back after Easter and never issued this photo, none of this would have happened. So the only thing that we have heard from them has been this photo debacle and then Kate's sort of mea culpa owning up to it, and nothing else. And that's kind of what we would expect. They're going back into their turtle shell and waiting for this to blow over.
And I do want to talk to you about that now infamous photo after the altered image was released and the subsequent explanation seemingly blaming Kate. Can the royals be trusted?
I personally still trust them to the extent that I did before. I personally am always skeptical about any official statements that come out of any institution. I just think it's a normal, healthy skepticism. This is a situation that I think people have blown up well out of proportion. And generally, I still would consider what's coming out of Buckingham Palace as being reliable, if for no other reason than the fact that they have very specific ways that they do these sorts of public interactions and the way they release statements. So I know that if something is coming out of Kensington Palace or Buckingham Palace, that is going to be the official statement. Anything else I might hear from a different source, I am very, very dubious about. So I still trust them as being the most reliable source of information on the royal family. I think that people are not sure who to trust right now, but I think this is part of a broader cultural trend we have had since the start of the pandemic with the rise of fake news. And I think, though, once we see Kate back in public, when she gets back to work, I think most people who were on her side are still going to be on her side.
Justin, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for your royal insights.
Not a problem. My pleasure.